Turn off. I turned that chime off. So Maureen, have you broken any more tiles lately?
I broke a tile today.
Awesome.
Yeah, the last of my half tiles. So tomorrow I have to go to Home Depot or Lowe's, and I will. But it was my first time breaking it like this instead of like this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Lowe's on Shoal Creek up and Shoal Creek in Far West usually has them.
Okay.
So if you're on that side of town, but
Yeah, I'll check there. Thank you.
Mhm.
What's up, Steven?
Hey, Brad.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Rob.
Do you want to have all the full lights on, or?
Sure.
So while we're still waiting for a few more people to show up, Rob, have you moved to two-person fist yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rosemary gave me some bruises.
How long ago did you move? How many practices have you done?
I've done 3.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure that you went ahead and switched.
Switched to a different partner?
No, that you went from the brick to the fist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 3 in.
Can I just close the meditation part?
Okay. Okay, we'll go and get started. People will still pop up. So, Rob, while you're unmuted, do you have any questions about the two-person fist practice?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely noticed the difference between Alan working with Alan and working with Rosemary. And I guess just sort of as I'm navigating between other people's energy, like how to you just sort of be light on certain people or just try to.
You're in charge. You get to communicate. Just know that usually the training with women is almost like a higher level training. It's almost more advanced, which is so counterintuitive because they think that they're not strong enough, but their chi is and their frequency is much different. So their energy is more penetrating.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need to tell her to go lighter, that's fine. If you need to tell Alan to go harder, that's fine.
Yeah.
So it's kind of so counterintuitive, but until you experience it and feel it, it's like, whoa, okay, yeah, now that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Nice. Kelly, you getting some two-person practice in?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Still with the roommate?
Yeah,
Nice.
I have some post questions.
Perfect.
And I meant to rewatch your instruction video, so I apologize if you said
No
any of this in there. I've only watched it once. But am I supposed to face south when I do the post?
Not necessarily.
Okay. And then I imagine it's like practice where I don't do it when I'm on my cycle.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then is it like, I'm finding it pretty natural to put my legs out behind me and I'm kind of like resting on my toes. Like I started doing it the way you showed where you're like kind of hunched over it, but it's feeling more natural to like put my legs back out to the back. And then is that just like, you just sort of, your feet, your legs just naturally lift at some point, or?
They can, or your hands can lift. So you can keep the toes down, but then the arms can kind of let go.
Oh, okay.
So little by little, you can kind of play with which one works better for you to control the amount of pressure. But yeah, those are good progressions.
Okay. I didn't try the arms up, but and then so you said that because the energy we have in this practice is so big that we have to contain it at the end, and then but at the end of the post practice, should I be doing the 9 like regathering breaths and like turning it into a moon?
Not necessarily, because it is bringing a lot of the energy back into the dantian. You do want to pull the energy out of the post with your hand.
Right. Yeah.
But just think normal. You can think you're normal. But if you want to go in and do the bouncing or the bamboo or the closing, you can, but not as necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I had sort of a general question is, like during the day when we're not practicing, what should our dantian look like? Should it be just like a ball of light, or should it be moving? Or I haven't had any sense of it. I'm just kind of curious.
It's just good to connect in that region. So we usually say 70-30, like 70% of our awareness inwards. So it can be very detailed about dantian, or it could just be a very more loose connection to that region versus being very specific to what we do with meditation. Bring in the light, seeing it rotate, seeing it bright, so you can kind of play with it to where it's just like you feel a connection to that region that's not as detailed as it is when you're doing the meditation.
But it doesn't matter if it's moving or still.
It doesn't matter if it's moving or still, or if it's different colors or whatever. But it's just nice to have that awareness and that connection inwards. So you're not using more energy than necessary outwards to do really basic things.
Okay.
But for me, when I think about dantian now, and then when I focus in that region, just to stay kind of present, the quality is much different. Like one's a lot more bright, very, very active, and just more powerful. And the other one's just like in sleep mode, but still there. Almost like it's not as bright, but I still sense that region. So yeah, experiment, see what you notice for yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen, please say more about training with a man versus a woman. Like a bit more detail about what you were talking about.
Just the way it feels in regards to just the energy signature of a person. The easiest way I can usually describe it in my mind is when I look at like frequency and waves. It's almost like a male punch is like this big bong, a big gong type of stimulation, like a big slow wave. And then like a female energy is a lot more a tight frequency, small wave that's very, very penetrating. That just like zips right through you. Instead of like getting hit with like a big sledgehammer, it feels like, someone stabbing you with chopsticks or something.
Is it more, so is it a bit like stingy stick versus the bat or something? Is that what you're kind of talking about?
Kind of, but the energy penetrates through the shield very, very easily for women.
Okay.
So, and the idea behind that too is, women, I think, naturally tune into their energy a lot more. So even though they're not, sometimes think they're not as strong, so they use more chi, and the chi penetrates through the shield very easily.
Got it. Okay.
And sometimes it's similar for people when they're doing like hands or legs, when they're trying to break a tile and they're trying to do it with their dominant hand and it doesn't work, and then they just barely touch it with the non-dominant hand and it explodes. That's usually more the chi level.
Got it. Thank you. It's a great explanation.
But then people who know how to work with energy, they can use their chi more physical, and the chi penetrates. And they can feel, like a sharper, or just gets through the shield. Yeah.
And this, the Golden Shield was started by a woman, is it?
There's talk of that. I don't know if we're 100% certain. So there's been talk about that it did come from a nun that was on a Buddhist temple, Buddhist mountain, then went to a Taoist mountain, or vice versa. But Dr. Zhang has said that in passing, but he definitely says he doesn't know too much past Master Mi. So
Past, excuse me, what? It was cutting out. He doesn't know too much.
Before Master Young's teacher, Master Mi.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so he doesn't know much about Master Mi and much before Master Mi. Yeah. Cool. Any other comments, questions?
Does this pop up? I have a question.
Sure.
Day 3 of starting the practice.
Excellent.
And I just noticed this morning I actually have some broken blood vessels on the lateral sides, the sides basically,
Sure.
and lower down. Now, am I just hitting myself too hard, or is that normal, or?
It's common. It's fine. I'm okay with the bruising if you're okay with the bruising. Some people aren't okay with it, so if that's the case, then we have to go lighter. But basically what's happening is you're right at that threshold of where those cells can tolerate that level of intensity.
Mm-hmm.
But because you're training consistently, they'll get replaced with higher energy cells to where that level of stimulation won't break them down.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I know you mentioned that you bruise easily. I know Alia, she said she used to bruise easily, but now she doesn't bruise as much as she did before. So it's neat to hear other students who were in the similar boat, who did the training, who their body changes and transforms.
Before, I think even if somebody on the other side of the world thought about getting a bruise, I would bruise for them. It was terrible. And the first time I did just barely tapping my abdomen, I came back, like covered. It was like I had been through, I don't know, something in that. And then Stephen was like, oh, don't worry, because everybody was aghast. They were like, what the hell happened to you? I said, yeah, I just bruised super easy, blah, blah, blah. No. And Stephen just told me, you can let that story go now. And after that, I almost never bruised again. It was awesome.
That's amazing.
It was something I really identified with. I'm the type that bruises easily, etc. And so congratulations on starting, and that's so exciting. And you're going to see some huge changes. It's really cool.
Thank you, Alia.
Yeah, enjoy.
But if you do get some bruising to the point where it just mentally and looking at it and visually seems uncomfortable, you can always rub more herb on there to help facilitate the healing, the bruising from going away. And lots of students, especially I myself, when I went through this training, there'd be times when I was in class, did the training, it's just so caught up in the energy and it felt so strong. And then I looked down at my belly like, oops. And it was just like massive bruising, but I didn't feel like anything. And then I put the herb on, and then I wake up the next morning and there's just nothing.
Oh, wow.
So it's just like, huh, that doesn't fit my normal way of understanding how the body works. So things like that can definitely happen.
Thank you.
Mhm. And, you know, people ask all the time, well, if I bruise in a particular spot, does that mean something? And like possibly, but there's no need to go there. But it's usually just local weakness in that one area. But if you do eat too much greasy food, sweet food, or fatty food, it can make the red blood cells stiff, which could lead to more bruising randomly. Like say you eat something more junk food this one particular moment of time and you practice, that could actually cause you to actually bruise a little bit more than other times.
Okay.
So.
Interesting. I just ate something.
Hey, Steven, I was going to add something about bruising.
Okay.
I just was letting whoever wants to know that over time you'll start experiencing bruises different on your body, you know, and before you train Qigong, you think of bruises like something bad happened or there's a mistake, where once you get used to training your body, bruises just, you know, where some work happened or, you know, something along that line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree completely. It's a nice feedback system to see, like, you know, some people have a really strong mind or could even be disconnected from their body and they can push too hard and then they bruise, but they're like, and they keep pushing through. For those people, when they're bruising at that level, I would actually listen to that and just reduce the intensity. And then just trust that the process over time, the body will replace those cells and get stronger. But some people are just so disconnected that it's like go, 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 and they break their body down tremendously and they push too hard. So using the bruising could be an idea, like, okay, to just evaluate. It's a measuring stick of like where things are at. So you don't have to like deny, like, oh, and ignore the bruising. You can actually look at it as like, okay, maybe I did do a little bit too much that time. Yeah. Ed, any questions?
Not right now. Stay tuned.
Good. Eric, any questions?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. So here pretty soon we'll probably need to do another, if things don't keep opening up, then we'll probably need to do a hand class pretty soon for some of you guys. And then Hunt, I definitely want to get with you soon to break some tiles, because that'll be fun for both of us. But hopefully I'm shooting for the first week in June, but I'll keep you guys posted in regards to getting back in class. Okay.
Hey, Steven.
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay.
So it's been a little over a week since I broke my wrist and I started practice today.
Okay.
What do I just like feel it out at that point? Just kind of ramp back up? Because it feels okay so far, but I also don't want to hinder the healing process.
Right. When you're doing you're on the wood block or brick?
The brick.
Brick. And then when you're doing the stimulation, does the vibration travel to the other arm and feel uncomfortable?
It's not too bad. I think there's been like a weird, like the last few days have been okay, but there's been a weird pain today.
Okay.
But it's not, I don't think that's impacted by the practice at all.
Okay.
Doesn't feel like it.
Because if the vibration is too big, it could still travel to the arm, and vibrations usually don't feel very good on broken bones. But if it doesn't with each stimulation, you don't feel it vibrating into the broken bone, then that's probably a good intensity. So I wouldn't ramp it up too quickly. So, and you got the herbs to take?
Yeah. I've been taking Bruise Mender and Smart Bone.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And then, have you tried any of the meditations I suggested?
Yep.
Okay. Does
Yeah.
that feel like that's kind of helping?
I haven't felt any pain as I've been circulating the chi through, like the arm orbit.
Yeah.
So it feels nice. Yeah. So I haven't tried the dog petting yet.
That's the one that I would just do constantly. Just like when you have
Yeah.
free time, just imagine petting an invisible dog.
Yeah. Something actually, like I did feel after the practice today, a kind of like a wet, cool sensation run down my injured arm. And so that was nice to feel because I can't get it wet. And so it was like a nice replacement. I don't know what it was, but it felt nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely after training, then I would probably just do a couple of like one of the two of the meditations I talked about, or just do a few minutes of just petting with the hand, so that the energy that you generated, you freed up from practice, can kind of go into that region.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're doing well, and there's very little pain, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's going to heal much faster than the doctor estimated.
Perfect. Yeah, I believe it too. So, good thoughts.
Thank you.
Welcome. Anybody on legs have any questions? Deidre, Bill, David?
I just have one. On the new meditation, I'm assuming better with no shoes or socks or anything to be drinking the water.
Yeah, that's fine. But the chi goes through that material regardless, so it's up to you. But with the stimulating the thigh, some days you can do, thin pants, some days you can do bare skin, some days you can do thick pants, because the board is a little blissful once you get there. So once again, like with all the other trainings, just ease into it. Just build the energy, build the confidence, let the chi saturate into that tissue.
Should I move on to the board now?
How many practices have you done with the stick bag?
Maybe 4.
Yeah, you can do one more. Yeah, do one more and then switch to the board.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, because if we don't switch to the board, we get pretty strong to where you end up breaking the sticks in the beanbag. So you don't really want to do that. Okay. Jay, you and the boys doing good with hands?
Gabe, do you have questions?
No, I'm good. I'm doing good.
How's the breaking out of the box going?
Good.
You making loud noises when you break out of the box?
Yes. I mean,
Jay is doing too loud.
Yeah. Our dad's too loud.
Well, maybe you should be louder than him.
No. There's no being louder.
Well, I mean, I know it's possible for me.
There's no being louder. And you maybe, but not me. Not me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, everything's good, I think.
Perfect.
I'm getting used to it. Yeah.
You ready to go fishing tomorrow?
Like, yeah.
Nice.
I'll look at the sticks, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Any other things you guys want to discuss in regards to practice? Eric, I'll add you to the email list. which side of the brick are you on right now?
I'm on the long side.
The long side, perfect. So you can mix it up between the long side and the butt end, but I'll add you to the list if you want to reach out to whoever is open to doing some two-person training, and we can move you into some two-person training.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of the people that you'd be reaching out to are already on two-person, so basically when we go into two-person practice, you're in charge of how you get hit. So if you want them to go lighter or slower, it's up to you to communicate that with them.
Okay.
Yeah. And then what else? Just ease into it. Don't do too much. And when you go to two-person break, you're just going to go back to the flat side.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, let's play with that.
I guess that's it. Okay.
David?
Go ahead.
With the two-person fist, you mentioned at one point that the focus will move to not so much the number of repetitions, but I think the depth or the intensity. And if I got that right, any tips on, like my daughter who's doing it with me, any tips on how she might increase that? Because the repetitions are up fairly high, so.
And you feel pretty strong in relation to the quality of hits that she's providing for you?
Yeah. I mean, I've had a bit of bruising, but you know, I let it heal and it's good.
Right.
And we've gone up in repetitions as we've been going. The frequency of training might not be quite as much, but then I figure that I'm allowing extra time to heal, you know, from a bit of bruising. So yeah, I figured it might be good to try out having a greater intensity, but not so many repetitions, for example.
Yeah, you can definitely do that and just see how the body responds. And then if the body responds well, then you can do higher reps, and you can try to change, maybe have her do the two-hand coming from the side like a baseball bat.
Yeah.
See if that helps her to generate a little bit more force.
Yeah, we might have to experiment. I just wonder if there was any other suggestions that you may have. Because you know, I've done a bit of martial arts before, and I taught her how to punch, so she doesn't hurt her wrists, and she's getting pretty good at that. It's a bit scary, actually.
Well, you can have her think that she's hitting a little deeper. So even though your skin's here, she's hitting way much past it.
Yeah, okay.
But that might not feel comfortable for you if she gets good at that, but you'll have to adjust.
Well, I can say stop.
Yeah.
She'll stop when I say stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the main one. Just, you know, not just hit the surface, but hit a little bit deeper in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let her know.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Let's see. Rosemary, what day did you start? You started on Friday?
I started, today's day 3, yes. So no, I started Saturday.
Saturday. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to mention anything. Wednesday, I'll mention something in regards to your practice.
Okay.
I'll just keep doing what you're doing. Any questions about how to do it? Feels pretty good?
Yes, actually, no, I did start Friday because today's day 4.
Yeah.
Today's day 4.
Okay, Wednesday I'll give you a modification to do moving forward.
Yeah.
But it'll be basically the same. But so tonight and tomorrow I'll just keep doing the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Okay, let's do a meditation. I'm going to mute everybody. Okay. So just go ahead and get comfortable. Hands on your thighs, recovering lower dantian. Rest the tip of the tongue to where it touches the roof of your mouth, just behind your front upper teeth. And just start to bring all the pieces of your mind that spread out in so many different directions. Just bring your mind and your awareness back inside your body, turning the flashlights inwards. At the same time, we can adjust our posture. So you can imagine a string attached to the top of your head and it's lifting up towards the ceiling. So just feel your spine lengthen. Feel yourself getting taller and taller with each breath. Your spine lengthens, space opens up between each vertebra. Your torso expands and space opens upside your torso so your organs can expand. And as you expand, the chi kind of goes in and fills in all those little gaps. So at the same time, you can soften and relax any tension in the body. Relaxing the tension in the face and the neck and the shoulders and the low back. Everything's relaxed. And just with your next breath, follow it all the way down into lower dantian. You can see lower dantian getting denser and brighter. You can see it slowly rotating. If you like, you can place a red dot on the crystal ball and just watch it slowly turn. And let's add to this energy in lower dantian by taking in 3 morning suns. So just visualize a bright white morning sun about 10 a.m. in the sky. See it, feel it, connect to it. Pull the sun to you. Open the top of the head. So the mind tells the chi to open the top of the head. Inhale, allow the sun to melt into a liquid light and pour straight down, all the way down the central channel, all the way into lower dantian. And we create a second morning sun, making it bigger and brighter than the first. Pull the sun to you. Feel it hovering right above the top of your head. Inhale, let it melt and pour straight down into lower dantian. And then one last time at third morning sun. Just like before, use your mind, pull the sun to you. Feel the warmth all over your body. Inhale, let it melt and pour straight down into lower dantian, mixing with the first two suns. We can close the top of the head. We can see lower dantian, very dense, very bright, very full. We can put a tiny bit of pressure using our mind to condense it, making it a little bit brighter. And then shine the light from lower dantian straight up into your sternum, into your breastbone, making it turn bright white. Allow this light to saturate all the bones to the rib cage. So using your mind, spread the light like a chain reaction through all your ribs and collarbones. Feel it wrap around the ribs and feed into your spine. And then brighten up each and every vertebra, up and down your spine. Through your neck, spreading through all the different cranial bones in your head. Beautiful, bright, white, strong, powerful bones. Just feel the light spread through all the cranial bones in your head, to your forehead and eye sockets, upper and lower jaws. And then really fill up your teeth from the roots to the tips of your teeth. Spend a little bit more detail filling up this area. Bright white, strong, powerful teeth. And then release the light down into your shoulder joints. See and feel the light flow down your arms. Brightening up your elbow joints and forearms. Flowing all the way down into your hands and fingers. And then continuing down into your low back and sacrum, into your tailbone, and then spreading into your pelvis. Hip joints. The long bones of your thigh. Knee joints. Down your lower legs. Once again, bright, white, strong, powerful bones. all the way into your heels, feet, and toes. And just with your mind's eye, just real quickly scan over the body, making sure every single bone's bright white. If you just happen to notice a dark area, just breathe into that spot, make those bones brighter. And now just imagine yourself sitting in a beautiful pine tree forest, surrounded by longevity pine trees that are hundreds, even thousands of years old. So you have these beautiful pine trees surrounding you in all directions. And the sun is shining through the pine needles onto your skin. You can even smell the scent of pine in the air. So feel very open and connected and supported by nature, the earth, the trees, the sun. You can even link in and connect into the lineage, into the masters that came before. Beautiful pine tree forest. Sun shining through the pine needles onto your skin. Balance and supported, nourished from nature. Connected in, linked into the lineage. Still feel as if you're being lifted by that string from the top of your head. So everything's being supported. The whole body's relaxed. The chi is flowing freely through the body. The mind's present in the moment. And just bring your awareness back into lower dantian once again. If you like, you could place a gold and full moon in lower dantian. Just allow it to get brighter and fuller. We can take a few breaths and draw in whatever energy we have around the outside of our body and guiding it to the gold and full moon in lower dantian. And just whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes, relax the mind, and just come on out. Has anybody had any motivation problems with getting practice in overall? For the most part, people getting their practice in? What's your hiccup, David?
Laziness.
Okay.
Yeah, we're both being lazy.
Well, you know, if you want to practice more, just, you know, set a day and time and just choose to, you know, tap into it. I know with legs, David, there's a lot of pieces, a lot of individual meditations, and it could just seem like, oh, there's a lot to do. So maybe just commit to doing just 1 or 2 meditations every day, just to get the ball rolling. Or even just choose to do one, you know, instead of doing the whole.
I have been doing the every once in a while in the morning I'll just bring in some suns, or I'll just do a little bit of like focusing on my chi or pulling my chi in during the day, and that does seem to help.
Good. Perfect. But do something tied into the leg practice though also.
Okay.
So one of the meditations connected to that practice.
Okay.
Anybody else? Ed, you're muted.
Sorry, I have a question.
Okay.
So it occurred to me that like when you're doing the imagining, like with the brick, it was imagining the brick exploding or breaking.
Right.
Now it's my daughter's fist, and I'm a bit hesitant to imagine her fist exploding.
Yeah. Try not to.
Okay.
We've kind of gotten to the point where that's built in. You know,
Right.
we got to the point where it's like we needed those visualizations to, you know, progress.
Okay.
For you to get your chi to move and to react, you don't really need that imagery so much anymore.
Okay.
But what you could do is just imagine it just moving, like making it to where she can't hit her target.
Yeah, I've done a bit of that. It's interesting you say that.
Yeah.
But
And
now-
usually, like the harder they try, the more they miss.
That's interesting. and I don't know because I only just started doing it, but her shots are going more outside of the center.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've been getting more bruising on the fringe because of it.
Yeah, the first demo we did in Dallas, I had my old roommate punch me. And, you know, he's a good 250. He's a firefighter. And so I got up there and I was like, you know, we were roommates at one point, and he moved back to Dallas. So I was familiar with his energy, so I let him punch me. But when he was punching me, I was like, hit me over the belly button. And he would punch me and he hit me like right up in the upper chest. I'm just like, dude, Ryan, lower. He's like, I'm trying to, but the chi kept going and making him hit me. So he's like, I'm trying, and he's like aiming for the belly and just like going straight up to my sternum. So it does happen.
Yeah, I've got bruises in that area, but probably not for the same reason. It's just, you know, my daughter's getting her accuracy right and that kind of stuff. So I'd like to say that I was there, but I can't.
You'd be surprised. Yeah.
Stephen, when he struck you in the chest?
Yeah.
Did that hurt?
No,
Yes.
I was already through the 5 levels at that time.
What if you hadn't? Do you think then, like, what if your chi is not there to sort of block that then?
It depends on the person's belief system. Like, I have one student who very strictly did not train anything, you know, from the ribs, you know, because like the upper spots is a little bit of overlap, and everyone's torso is slightly different. Some people have a really long rib cage where they indirectly train some of the ribs. Some people, ribs are up high and they only want to train the fleshy part. But this one student, you know, he did not like getting his ribs trained. So anytime the stimulation got that high up, he felt really uncomfortable. So, but for the flip side, some people feel like, oh, I'm strong, like it doesn't matter, like the chi will come out. So it just really depends on the person.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully the next week or so, your guys' training will be a lot easier. Get some more motivation and just feel like it's very easy to train at home as if you're just training like you used to be in the studio. You know, it's just neat when you think about like when you come to class, you know, the energy in the studio is kind of coded and we're so used to it, the frequency and the energy within the studio to help support the practice. So now that we no longer have that studio, I kind of move the energy into the cloud. So hopefully it'll help support everyone's practice. I didn't realize it until just recently. It's like, oh, whoa, there's still a lot of energy left in that building that they don't need anymore. So yeah, so I just uploaded it to the cloud for us to help our training at home. So take advantage of a little bit of extra motivation to practice at home.
Thank you.
Is there an energy removalist?
Yeah, yeah. And then I'll install it back into whatever new place we end up setting shop at. Surprisingly, it can be really tangible. Yeah.
It makes me wonder if there's any kind of energy we can bring to our space at home where we practice.
For sure. Like, definitely, like you can connect, if you're familiar with the old studio space and you spent time training there, then if you feel like there's still some energy left behind that I wasn't able to bring it into your home, into your practice. You know, just imagine training with the group. You know, when we go into that Pine Tree Forest meditation, that supports all of us. It's kind of our little clubhouse, our morphogenic field that helps supports everyone's practice. So,
cool.
Yeah. So if you haven't been training, try to get some training in this week. You might find some new inspiration, some additional energy to help support the practice. Okay. If no other comments, questions, we'll wrap it up for tonight, and we'll pick up on Wednesday. Any other questions? Nope. Okay. I'll see you guys Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen.
Welcome.
Thanks a lot.